Thank you, everybody, for coming to the Aaron Torres Podcast YouTube page. If you could do me a quick favor, see that little subscribe button at the bottom of your screen? Go ahead, click that subscribe button. Really does help our channel grow, our audience grow, and I really do appreciate it more than you know. So click that subscribe button. Appreciate your support. Now, here's the video that you came here for. Spicy meatball. I got to say, whoever wrote these questions, oh, wait, I did, but still. Spicy meatball of a question here, okay? So the question is, Jay Lucas is officially the Miami head coach. Torres, he isn't really going to flip the Boozer twins, is he? All right, so we talked about this one about 2-3 weeks ago. This, to me, is maybe the most interesting kind of sub-story in college hoops right now. So it's really interesting, okay? So very interesting sub-story. We talked about this a few weeks ago, but I'll tell you what, first of all, this is my favorite time of the year. We call it chisme season. We call it gossip season. Chisme is gossip in Spanish. It's that time of year where there's coaching changes, there's portal entries, there's portal withdrawals, there's NBA draft decisions. This is like the first big gossipy thing going on in college hoops, and we talked about it a few weeks ago, okay? And so now things are official for people who were living under a rock on Wednesday afternoon. Jay Lucas is officially the Miami head coach. Okay, so Jay Lucas has been an assistant at Duke for a couple years now. He was with Kentucky. He was at Kentucky with John Calipari earlier, at Texas with both Shaka Smart and Rick Barnes. And about 3-4 weeks ago, it was kind of let me even backtrack. It wasn't rumored. Let me say this. Let me get this out of the way. It was reported by CanesInsight.com. Peter Ariz, I don't know him, but I give him credit. He was all over this. Then the national media comes in and it's, oh, you know, nothing's official. It's like, no, it's official. Peter Ariz, Canes Insight, was doing podcasts about it 3 weeks ago. Okay, so it's been official. The national media tried to pretend, oh, nothing's final yet. No, it's been final. Now, I will defend the national media a little bit, and I'll defend Duke. You know, Miami was playing, or Duke was playing Miami like 2 games after this report came out, and I think everybody was trying to protect Jay Lucas, the players, John Shire, from having to answer too many questions. But this has been done. It became official on Thursday. And on Thursday morning, Jay Lucas actually did a press conference at Miami as the new head coach of the Hurricanes. First off, in terms of the job, I think he's going to be good. Now, we don't know, you know, you never know with these coaching jobs, right? But at the same time, I understand if you want to say, oh, first-time head coach, you know, power league, whatever. A couple of things. One, ACC is power league in name only. And I do think that's why the Miami job was coveted. It's why Florida State is coveted. It's why Virginia is coveted. It's because the entry point in this league is so low right now that you can win and win quickly if you get the right staff, if you get the right players. Look at what Pat Kelsey has done in this league. So you have a new coach in a league with a lot of just chaos in it. And I'll say this too with Jay Lucas. I think the idea of hiring the young guy that's into recruiting, that's known as a recruiter, I think that's the right move in 2025, okay? I think the old school Tom Crean, you know, 60-year-old dude, I don't think that flies in 2025. Bottom line is it's a new world of college hoops. It's a new, you know, it's a new world of college hoops, right? You can't bring in the 60-year-old guy that's going to fight NIL, that's going to fight the portal. I don't want to do this. I miss the old days. No. Hire the 38, 42, 44-year-old guy that's just like, listen, this is where we are. This is where we're going to be. I accept it. Let's figure out NIL. Let's figure out the portal, etc. I know there's always an exception to the rule. I know Mark Pope is over 50 at a Kentucky. Maybe you hire somebody a little bit more high profile, but I like to hire, okay? So now, the big question. Jay Lucas is coming in as the head coach, and what's especially interesting about this is the news, and this I don't know was previously reported. Jay Lucas is leaving Duke at the end of the regular season. Well, I'm not great at math. End of the regular season is this weekend, which means that Jay Lucas will be part of the game plan for the North Carolina game on Saturday. Then he's out the door going to Miami, okay? And so on the one hand, I sort of kind of understand it's a new world, portal, this, that. But one, the portal opens a week later than it has in the past. Two, I don't ever remember a coach in the middle of NCAA tournament prep leaving his school for a head coaching job. You know, we see it in football sometimes when a coach isn't in the college football playoff. If his team's going to the Sun Bowl or something, he'll leave. But never in the middle of the NCAA tournament prep, and certainly not for a team that's good enough to win the championship. And so I think it's an interesting little wrinkle, but it is being done. He is leaving for the job, you know, as of Sunday morning, Saturday night, whatever. I'm guessing Saturday after the Carolina game, he's getting on a plane and going to Miami. So one, there's the Duke aspect, but two, what does it mean for the roster he's going to put together? Now, listen, obviously there's a lot to do. Got to put together a staff, but let's get to the question that everybody wants the answer to. Is he going to flip the Boozer twins? Now, here's what you need to know. Okay, so I think if you're a Miami fan watching, if you're a Duke fan watching, you know the background, but I'm going to do it for the people that don't know. The Boozer twins. Carlos Boozer has two sons that are both five-star McDonald's All-Americans players in high school basketball. Cam Boozer, just a dude, just an alpha, potential number one pick in the draft, 6'9", 6'10", forward, can do it all. And then Cayden Boozer is his twin brother, who's a point guard. And these guys are both committed to Duke. By the way, these guys are both rock stars. I actually think Cayden Boozer's a little bit underrated because his brother's so good. I think he kind of gets a little bit overlooked in everything. But I just bring it up because those two are going to Duke. They've been committed to Duke. But why this is a talking point, and I think everybody knows, is for three reasons, really. They're from Miami. They nearly committed to Miami over Duke in the recruiting process. And then, oh, by the way, also there's this, is the fact that Jay Lucas was their lead recruiter at Duke. And so it's been a talking point. We talked about this probably about 3 weeks ago when the first reports came out that Jay Lucas would accept the job, that Jay Lucas basically had unofficially accepted the job. Well, now we're here. Now it's ramping up. And what I will tell you is this. I made some phone calls on this on Wednesday night. And let me just put it this way. I'm going to call a spade a spade. There is no answer. There is no decision because I don't think even the Boozer twins are 100% positive what they are going to do. What I would say is that I'm not going to sit here and lie and say that I think it's going to happen, but the chances of it happening are not 0%, okay? And so here's the little bit of background. Again, Jay Lucas won the – first of all, I think we should even go back to before they committed to Duke, okay? One, what we heard all along in their recruitment was that just because their dad played at Duke, Duke was not the runaway favorite. And they took other visits. They went to visit Kentucky. I think they took even a visit to Carolina. And then Florida, Miami really were in the mix. And what everybody said was they weren't, just a lock for Duke because of their dad. They're from Miami. The reports even were that Miami was the front runner for most of the initial recruitment. Actually, many people will tell you close to the family that mom really has more sway than dad does. Dad kind of stays out of it, whatever you guys want to do. So there's the relationship with the school. There's the comfort. There's the fact that they're in Miami. And there's the fact that Jay Lucas, of course, recruited them all along. Now, what's become especially interesting over the last couple weeks since this story broke is all of the other rumors that have come out. First off, it looks like the Boozer's high school coach, Andrew Moran, is about to get hired by Miami and Jay Lucas on that new staff. Now, I'll be transparent. I don't know the relationship that he has. I don't know how much sway he has with either the parents or the kids, but that is noteworthy. Andrew Moran is their high school coach. It is worth noting on him. Listen, I don't know a ton about him and his background, but I will tell you he is a guy that is like a respected kind of workout guy. Like he's not just a guy that's just kind of along for the ride. Like he's a respected workout guy. NBA guys work out with him in the summer. And so, you know what it almost reminds me of, honestly, and this is kind of a niche thing, but I remember about 7-8 years ago, Andy Enfield at USC hired Eric Mobley, who was Evan Mobley and Isaiah Mobley's dad. Evan Mobley, of course, plays for the Cleveland Cavaliers now. And I remember at the time, the big talk was, oh, you're just doing it to get his kids. And it's like, well, maybe, but Eric Mobley also played 10 years overseas, and Eric Mobley has become a very good and very well-respected assistant coach. So this isn't a total apples to apples because he's not related to the kids, but he's a real coach now. And so the rumors are that he is going to go there. I believe the Miami Herald even put it in writing when the Jay Lucas news became official. So to me, I don't think it's nothing, and I don't think the timing of the decision for Jay Lucas to leave now for the Miami job is accidental. If you're just going to sit there and ride it out and ride, whatever, then do you have to leave right now this second for the Duke, leave Duke for the Miami job? And so when I see what's going on, I say, he wants to get a head start. But here's the other thing that I think is kind of worth noting. If you go back to when these rumors broke, John Shire was asked about it. I know he was asked about it after the Miami game, but he was asked about it after the Illinois game. Maybe, I can't totally remember. But he gave some comments that you could tell he was not very happy with the situation. Now, he said all the right things. Jay's one of my best friends. I wish him nothing but the best. Whatever his future is, it's nothing but the best. It's not my place to comment. But you could tell he was a little bit irked. And I don't know if it was solely because of the timing. I don't know if it was because he knew that Jay Lucas wasn't going to be staying until the end of the season, or if it's the fact that he has a relationship with these kids. Now, I've had people ask me, like, would it burn that relationship with Jon Scheyer for Jay Lucas, who's supposedly one of his best friends, if you flip the kids? I probably think it would. But I don't know that there's any sort of verbal agreement, because what if Jon Scheyer has no relationship with those kids? Now, I don't think that's the case, because Jon Scheyer, we can criticize him for whatever, but he was a great recruiter before Jay Lucas. He was a great recruiter as an assistant coach, and he is a guy that, players love playing for. I mean, it's easy to forget this now. He was the guy, really the guy on the ground that recruited Jason Tatum. He was the guy on the ground that recruited Paolo Banchero. This is Jon Scheyer. So he builds real relationships. This isn't, Coach K or somebody that's just coming in the last visit to kind of close the deal. I mean, Jon Scheyer has great relationships, but I just bring it up because I'm here to tell you, everybody in basketball feels like this isn't 0%. Now, ultimately, what the kids are going to have to decide, and it's not my place, and I'm not trying to, all I'm saying is this. You've been committed to Duke. Are you really going to flip based on an assistant coach? That's one. Two, an assistant coach that has never been a head coach before. And three, just the relationship with Duke in general. I mean, there's a chance you're going to have to go play at Duke. Your dad played there, and it is Duke. It's not like they're committed to, to Georgia Tech and the lead assistant went to Miami. I mean, it is Duke, and Duke is, you say whatever you want about Duke, they're going to put you in position to succeed. They're going to put you in position to reach your potential as a one and done. And they're going to compete for an ACC title and a national championship while you're there. So if I was handicapping it, I would still say that that the two of them end up at Duke. But what I can tell you convincingly is that it is not just rumors. It is not just message board innuendo. I don't believe there is a 0% chance this is happening. By the way, the kids could just put out the graphic, 100% committed, love Duke, love Coach Scheyer. They, as of, it is 2:47 Eastern time right now, have not done that on Thursday. Maybe by the time you watch this, they will have, but I just bring it up because they haven't put out anything yet.